because I am here. And yell this from the depths of your heart.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Monday Morning Toy Show. I am your host, Master D. Maito. And if you don't know, the Monday Morning Toy Show is where I share some toy stuff with you, whether it's toy news, reviews. Pretty much what I'm going to be doing is freeing some toys from the plastic prisons. So before we get into it, why don't you get yourself ready? Grab yourself a nice warm morning beverage, whether that's a cup of coffee.
Hey, pervy sage.
Not the right sound effect. Sorry about that. Grab yourself a cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee in the big tank.
Thanks, Macho Man. Or if you're like me, grab yourself a cup of tea.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot.
Oh, nice and hot. A touch of honey. And we'll just go ahead and get right into it, okay? So if you read the title, you know that I'm going to be opening up the Loyal Subjects Best Action, or BSTAXN, Best Action. IDW publishing, like, their comic run of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and their Shredder. Also got a little something, not really a surprise, but just something I wanted to show you guys that kind of goes along with this stuff, okay? So why don't we head on over to the other camera and get this started. Oh, there we go. All right. So as we got here, as you can see, we've got all 5 figures here. It's quite a lot of figures, obviously, I'm going to be opening up today, so I'll just get right into it, all right? So let's, we'll start with Shredder. Why not? He's the odd man out in this group, so let's just get these guys out of the way. Never opened these boxes before, so I don't know. Do they even have tape on them? Doesn't really look like it. Oh, they might not have any tape. Oh, they do. All right here in the corner. What about on the other end here? No? Excellent. Just a quick look at the packaging before we get started. On the side here, you get the IDW version of Shredder. This is a limited edition collector card on the side. Shredder, Loyal Subjects, Best Action, Best Features, Best Articulation, Best Assortment. We'll see about this Best Articulation. I've heard nothing but bad things about some of the other Best Action figures, but these actually I've heard these ones specifically are pretty decent. Got a nice window up at the top. Some more Shredder on the side there. On the back, got a picture of the figure. Best features, best articulation, best assortment. Just a quick description of the figure itself. Not really of... Oh, right up here we get some description of Shredder. So if you want to read that, go ahead and pause right now. Check that out. Okay. Oh, you know what? Straight from the pages of the TMNT, inspired by Santa Luco, TLS proudly presents. Okay. So it's not even really a thing, not even really a description of Shredder per se, but that's fine. So we'll get right into it. The package, you can see, comes sandwiched between these, nice plastic, plastic dividers or whatever. It's got his trading card on the side, or on the back there. All right, so this is where we get a description of Shredder. So we'll grab that in just a second. How does this open? Give me 1 second. Oh, I see it. I see the scene. There we go. Oop, go some of his weapons, some hands. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't mind that these aren't really like sandwiched, like wedged deep into these. They're a lot easier to grab out then. No tape, no freaking plastic retention clips. Take note, McFarlane. Well, look at that, right out of the package. You can stand straight up. That's already a good sign. All right. So out of the package, he comes with, or what he's equipped with here. He's got his 2 grip hands. I mean, just the figure by himself, no weapons or anything attached. But then in the package, he comes with a couple of replacement hands. Looks like a more like clawed, and then like a tiger claw sort of, or splayed out hand if you're feeling nasty. Here's another one. This is more of the tiger claw one. Another tiger claw for the other side, and I believe this one's a bit relaxed, I guess. Kind of almost looks like he's pointing. Then we get the unmasked, unhelmeted Shredder face, the Orokusaki face. I got a little bit of a paint. I don't know if that's a paint chip or like a overspray or something right there. You guys can tell. You can see that little black thing right there on the lip. And then my camera's not picking it up very well, but we do get a nice, like, it's not even really, it's not sculpted in, it's just painted on, but a scar on Orokusaki's face. You can see that the paint missed the hair by a little bit. Nice, there's a nice head, like, hair sculpt here, I guess. You know, you get the top knot, like the samurai top knot that I would imagine he's most famous for wearing. Very, very light skin tone, though. He's very bright, but he's also screaming. Would like to see a little bit more of a stoic face, but you know, I guess it's what the helmeted head is for. You get a little bit of emotion on the actual unmasked head, you know. And then he also comes with these 2. I want to say these are Kusarigamas. They might not be. I think they're just like sickles potentially. And he comes with 1 like longer katana. The katana, you know, pretty straightforward for the most part. There's no like detail into it, but I mean, it's, you know, it's nice and straight. It's just hard enough that, you know, it stays straight, but flexible enough that it's not like, you know, gonna break or anything. It's pretty much all silver or like gunmetal, whatever, plastic, and then believe that this is just painted on, I would imagine. And then for the sickles, again, not a whole lot of detail, but it does look like these handles are supposed to be made out of wood, like they're blackened wood or like painted black wood, because they have like a wood grain sort of carving or texture to it. And then you get just the, you know, the plain silver like head for the sickle. All right, let's see what this collector card or trading card or whatever is all about. So you get some nice artwork here. It's a little light. Honestly, I would have liked to see this like the art on this pop a little bit more. It's a little faded, like it blends into the background a little bit. So if anything, I would have kept this background like very light colored and then had him pop out a little bit more, be a little bit brighter. What are you gonna do? And then here we get a little description of Shredder. So if you wanted to read that, go ahead and pause now. Art of the figure right here on the side. All right, and let's get this guy off to the side here. Okay, get these accessories off to the side. And then now we're just looking at Shredder himself, and like, I mean, honestly, right out of the package, he looks pretty good. Um, I'm not really seeing any blemishes or paint misses so far. Oh, I don't like this. Okay, so here's one thing. Look, right out of the package, this looks like it's coming off the peg. Hopefully I can just push this right back in here and it should be all right. Still a little gapped up. Oh, same on both arms, actually. Well, I know after this I'm going to have to be heating these guys up to make sure that all the joints and stuff are in and together properly. I don't like that. Okay. Ooh. Why does that keep happening? I haven't seen too many reviews on the Shredder thus far. I've seen one that I remember. I think it was Dave Wonder on Grippin' and Rippin' one Wednesday, and he pulled him out, and I think Shredder's, if it was his arm or his leg, either broke or just came off. But hopefully that doesn't happen to me here. I mean, not speak this into existence, right? But I mean, other than that, I mean, looking at everything, there's no paint misses. Although I think this is all, I mean, this is all just one solid plastic color. There might be some paint here. Yeah, there's some paint on the like waistband or the whatever you want to call this. Um, Pretty much hits the mark for the most part. I think up top here might need a little bit of paint, but it's not anything super noticeable, especially from afar. I like this cape, just the design of it overall, with the like bunched up neck. Um, I mean, it's fairly flexible. It's the same as any Marvel Legends or DC Multiverse cape for the most part, where it's just it's a piece of plastic. It's a little floppy, a little flexible or whatever. It's not really going to get into any dynamic poses or anything. But if you wanted to get, say, a third party custom like cape for this figure, I know that this comes right off. It doesn't like plug into anything. It's just on there loose, so it doesn't look like it's going to get in the way at all, just because it's kind of around the neck. It might get in the way of some of the head articulation, but as far as the arm articulation and stuff goes, probably not. Looking at his head here, his eyes, he doesn't have any pupils in his eyes on this head sculpt. I'm assuming it's part of the design potentially. Where is that card? Hold on. I mean, it's definitely part of the design on here. However, in the art, there's like black around the eyes to kind of help that white pop. Whereas here, there is no black. As you can see, you could just see the like skin tone underneath. So if anything, I would like to see some black around this to kind of help those eyes pop a bit. That might actually be something that I do going forward, just to help this guy out a bit. But I mean, overall, he looks pretty good. I mean, you got paint on the like straps of his gloves. You see like a brown. It's not, you don't see a texture to it. It doesn't have a texture, but you do see like the brown coloring to it to make it look like leather straps. You got some gray like bandages or armbands or something underneath his like metal gauntlet, and those have like a texture to them. Um, Overall, I would like to see this maybe with like a wash on it, to kind of really kind of bring out the details and some of this texture or whatever. But that seems to be the overarching like thing that's missing on some of the best action figures, at least from what I've seen, is that they lack that sort of extra paint. However, with the turtles, as we'll go into, the ones that I got are the ones without any extra detail and stuff. They did have they did have a Comic-Con. It was an SDCC exclusive, if I'm not mistaken, where it was all 4 of them, and all of them had like extra paint detail. So they had like washes on the shells, on the skin, the weapons, all that sort of stuff. So like I didn't go for that. It was an extra, what I think, it was like, if it wasn't an extra $15, it was almost like an extra $20 per figure to get like that extra paint. I was like, you know what? I might as well go for the cheaper ones. And if I really wanted the extra paint on it or whatever, I could just do it myself. So, and it, won't cost me a thing because I already have this stuff. So, well, let's go over the articulation here really quick. So, I want to say that he's got a dumbbell. Ooh, he's got quite a lot of down movement there. So you can actually be looking down. Say if you have him up high, and you can have him like looking down on the city or on the Foot Clan or on the Turtles even. Look up. Let me see if I can kind of get this scarf. Yeah, no, he's not going to be looking up very much. So it's down and then up. Nothing really there. I wonder if we got this cape off, maybe he looks up a little bit more. If there's any tilts, there's some tilts left to right. Nothing too crazy. Rotates around. I want to kind of pull this off. Let's just see really quick. There we go. Okay. Wow. Okay. So it's not even a dumbbell joint. It's just a ball on the neck. So that's probably why there's not a whole lot of range of motion when it goes up. It's only it can only go so far. It's not a lot of articulation there. Oh, come on, you. Okay. And I got the scarf off. Let's see. Yeah, no, he's not going up. He's not going up much more than that. So, got some butterfly joints here. So, at the shoulder, so you can go in and out like that. Hinge at the shoulder, goes up about that far. It's pretty straight across. Doesn't go up much farther than that though, because I want to say it's because the shoulder pads get in the way. This is just these are like plugged into the shoulder, so doesn't hinder any in and out motion here. This is good. Let's see if we can get this going all the way around. There we go. There's the bicep swivel here. I'm being careful with this. I'm probably not going to really do anything with it. You could definitely rotate quite a bit. It cuts the sculpt quite a bit though, just because of the way that this is. It's a little bit of a thinner and flat right in on the inside there. That's a little strange. Like you see the muscle striations and stuff, but it bulges here and then it's just kind of flat in here. Obviously, this is probably just so that he can actually like pull his arms in, but I don't know. As far as anatomy goes, that just looks really strange. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to hit this thing with some heat before the day is done, just to try and get these biceps all the way on. I'm wondering if maybe I don't want to pull on that anymore. I don't want to do anything with that. Double is this a double elbow? Yep, double elbow pinned. So he's gonna come up just past 90. The sculpt from his gauntlet kind of gets in the way there. And we've got in and out wrist pegs. Diaphragm joint here in the torso. Oof, not a lot of movement though on this guy. Seriously, what is the point? He can move side to side really well, but he cannot crunch worth a damn. He's got no waist articulation. Oh no, does he have waist articulation? Okay, he does. He has waist articulation, but it's only to go side to side, so he can only really like turn around and stuff. He's not going to be doing any like backflips or any kind of crap like that. He's not going to be crouching down, which really sucks because one of my favorite, I mean, it's literally like his first appearance in the original TMNT comics is him crouched down with his like claws kind of facing up like this. So I'm not going to be getting him in any of those poses, unfortunately. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Then we got the hip articulation. He goes up Back about that much. Let's see, out. Not really the greatest for a guy who's supposed to be a ninja, you know. We got a thigh cut here. Kind of breaks up the sculpt a little bit just because there's this like crease in his pants, but it doesn't like break up the color or anything. And then as far as the knees go, he's got double knees. These are actually pretty smooth, but can't go as far back just because this sculpt and then this it's just a little too chunky to like actually be able to go all the way back. It's really smooth. And I like that it doesn't break up much because he's got like it's the silver pad as the knee as opposed to being uh like something that's plugged into a knee. So that's cool. Or not plugged, but like glued on. As far as his ankle articulation goes, he can go about that far back, that far forward. Some rocker on the front facing pin. He's got the like ninja toed, the tabby boots. Although you can kind of see like the outline of his like actual toes here, so it's a little funky. Overall, not a bad figure, like not a bad looking figure for sure. As far as like articulation and action goes, though, not a fan of it. He's the most he's going to be doing is kind of standing and looking imposing, but that'll be about it. Let's get his accessories here. Let me see if I can get a sword into his grip. That goes in pretty neatly, and then that handle's long enough that he could probably hold it with two hands. However, I'm a little scared because of the stressing. I don't want to stress this joint too much. But I mean, as you can see, he can get it in both hands and hold it, so that's not bad. Come on, go of it. And the Kusarigama, or not Kusarigama, but the sickles. I mean, that's a pretty tight grip, so he's not letting go of these things. That's cool. Let's try the other head sculpt out really quick. Come on. Oh, does that even go on there? Oh, a little behind the camera strength. Oh, that's not going on without heating it up. That thing, I don't know if it's too small, but I might need to heat this up before it goes on there because, yeah, it is not going on very well. Jeez Louise. All right. Well, Shredder. A little bit of a disappointment, my friend. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to do something with this to help it out a little bit. So probably be getting customized a little bit to help him out a little bit, maybe help him move better. We'll see. I'll look up some stuff online, see if anybody's got any suggestions for making him a little bit of a better figure. In the meantime, though, let's just get him in a stoic, static stance here. He stands up really well. That's cool. All right. Now, just take a sip of my tea here. Okay. Who do I want to go with next? I want to save Raph for last because Raph is my favorite turtle, so I'll probably be messing around with him a little bit more. I like Dottie quite a bit. I like Mikey too, so I guess that leaves Leo. That's my least favorite turtle. So before we get him out of the package, There's the ring light. There's some artwork from the comics. More artwork here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Leonardo, loyal subjects, best features, best articulation, best assortment. Window up top. Turtles, other stuff on the bottom. On the back here, picture of the figure. Straight from the pages of the TMNT IDW comics with custom artwork from Mateus Santaluco. Best features, best articulation, best assortment, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff he comes with. Let's just get them open. Wow, this one doesn't even have tape on it. Ain't that some stuff? All right. That card out of there. Let's just. He's sandwiched between some plastic here. These are a little bit deeper, obviously, because I mean these are bigger guys in terms of depth because they got their shell. Everything seems to be staying in there pretty well. Let me just. Okay. Here, let's see. All right. Well, that's one way to get everything out. Best action. All right. So out of the package, you get Leonardo. He's got his signature twin katanas on his back here in their sheaths. Grip hands, which look really weird. So yeah, just the figure with the grip hands and his weapons and his holsters are in their scabbards. Get some swooshing effects. You get a couple of bandana ties with, I mean, they basically look like they're doing the same thing and they're supposed to be different, but they look like they're doing the same thing. Those come separate in the container or in the package. Get some shorter like Tonto blades. You get 4 sets of hands here, or not 4 sets, but 2 different pairs of hands here. So you got his like open grip or like relaxed hands, I guess you could call it. And then you got some like smaller grip hands here. Maybe that's for the Tonto blades. Not entirely sure. You know, I just thought of something. Was he supposed to have? No, he wasn't. Okay. I think that these are for holding ninja stars, which he doesn't come with, but Raph does. So maybe he steals a couple from Raph, has him holding them a little bit. The mushroom pegs on these are really small. I'm hoping. I mean, I know that's going to cause for easy like popping in and out. I'm hoping that doesn't mean that they're going to be like really loosey goosey or really like kind of like falling off on there, but we'll see. Let's pick one of these bad boys to get into here, and that just plugs right into the back of his skull. I said plugs right into the back of his skull, and I think that's how it goes. Okay. So he's almost always going to be, in a wind gust. That's not cool. Here, let's try this one really quick. He should almost always be in a gust of winds. So that thing is flowing in the wind for him. Otherwise, let's see if I could just get this. Jeez Louise, dude. These don't want to stay in there. At least not in the way that I want them to, which is just flat down their backs. But it's about as good as it's going to get, I guess. I'm going to turn this around. Yeah. All right. Well, that's about as good as it's going to get, I guess, because these things are kind of stiff. Out of the package, comes with this head. Wait a second. I know I'm missing. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I forgot. So, comes with just a stoic, sort of straight-looking face, with this pupils, but the head sculpt that's on out of the package is like the no pupil sort of look here, which is cool. I pretty much like that look for them most of the time. But he's got like he's got an open mouth, sort of like screaming face or grimacing face, which is fine. Out of the package, though, I mean, he looks pretty decent. The one thing I will say that seems to be best action's like best feature is that they don't really look like they use a lot of paint in terms of uh in terms of like having paint on the actual like figure itself. I mean, most of this, like the bandages and stuff, I think are painted for sure. But like all of this plastic here is like molded out of the same color. This is painted on, obviously. This I'm not sure if this is painted on or if this is the plastic itself that's that color. The shell is its own color. All of this stuff is its own color. It's like this is like something that's glued down. So this is its own like its own color or its own plastic color. This stuff in here I think is painted on. It may or it may or may not be. I don't know. This kind of looks like it's a separate piece, like it's molded in that color. So they definitely got that going for it. So at least that they're like all one uniform color and they don't have like paint misses and stuff. This guy doesn't look like he's got a lot of paint misses. If he does, it's like in little areas on the hands. It's like it's missing up on the ridge there, kind of oversprayed there. Some missing here in the hand. Overall, though, it's not a bad look. This is, I believe, it's probably glued on. Yeah, I think this is glued in there. It's got a peg. The scabbards have two pegs, so one in the belt here and then one in the back of the shell, as you can kind of see. But it doesn't feel like those are coming out. So I think those are glued in. It's got this strap that comes from the belt though around to the back to be like the thing that holds up his belt as well as holding the scabbards. So that's cool. But yeah, overall he looks pretty good. I don't see much wrong with him. I don't see anything gapping up or like falling off like on the shredder. That looks this might be a little loose, but it's not really anything hopefully to worry about. Looks like it's the same deal as the shredder. So I'm assuming then all their necks, they don't have like a dumbbell joint or anything. It's just gonna be a ball on the the casting that the head just sits on. So that is going to limit the articulation, especially when it goes up. But down, it's not super bad. You can actually kind of tuck his chin in there, so he's like looking down, look into his shell almost. Side to side, it's not super bad. It's not like the greatest, but it's not horrible. Also got the butterfly joints in the shoulders, so you can go in and out. Hindered obviously by the shell, so it doesn't go all the way back. But I mean, it's not bad. You can go forward quite a bit, and it's not like hindered by the front shell at all. So this is just where it naturally stops. We got the shoulders go up to about right there and go all the way around. Bicep cut. This one's a little bit better than the shredder one, so like it's not as flat on the inside. It actually has the like bulge a little bit, or at least as much of a bulge as he has on the outside here. Um, Double elbows go up way past 90. Much better than shredders. And then is hinge in and outs. Yes, these are in and out hinges on the. I think they go in and out. Yeah, at least on this one, that's what it seems, is that they go in and out. And those are very stiff, very very stiff. So I'm not going to want to push this too much, just because I'm afraid that I'm going to mess something up. So here's the thing I was worried about. Right, that came out pretty easily. It's fine for swapping things in and out, but as far as like him staying, it's going to be an issue, I feel like. So that like goes in pretty, that hole goes in pretty deep, but this mushroom tip does not go in very well. Giggity. So like makes the hands a little bit loose, so they're not as stable as you can kind of see. I mean, it'll be fine for holding the weapons because it's not like they're super like heavy things that he has to hold up, but just in general, I just don't like that. I don't like that wobbliness. We got the hip joints, allow it to move forward only that much, just because it kind of gets, now the bottom of the shell kind of gets in the way. Goes back a lot more. There's just not as much shell back here. And then out, let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see my turtles freaking kicking some butt. Now, there's obviously no torso or waist articulation in this. I mean, he's a big turtle. There was no way he was going to get that anyways. So all the articulation literally comes from the arms and the legs. We got the thigh cut. Breaks up the sculpt a little bit. Actually, it breaks it up quite a bit because of the shape of this. So you can actually kind of see that the like hip joint separation here. That's not cool. It is what it is though. Double knee goes up quite a bit. I mean, he can kick his own shell. Not really kicking his own butt necessarily, but that's, I mean, his hip movement allows him to like kind of go up that much. But really, it's only, I mean, it's past 90, so that's not super bad, you know. Ankle articulation goes forward, not at all. Back, not at all. So it's all mostly the like rocker, so in and out. I mean, you could spin this around, I believe. So, wow, okay. Um, yeah, let's get him holding his weapons and see what I can do with him here, because that's, so I'm trying to push this in. It's a little tight towards the end here. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way. I don't think it is. I mean, it seems to be holding it tight just fine. Oop, maybe not. I lied. Here, let's see. That's a little stiff. Let's see if I can get this all the way in here. Oop, jeez, the camera is just doing all sorts of stuff here. Come on. Jeez Louise. Yeah, that's not. I'm gonna have to heat this guy up just to kind of loosen this finger a little bit so I can get these down in there. Oh, never mind. But now I suspect this is probably not coming out of that hands now. Let's try the other one. So one thing really quick, I'm gonna go over the. So like this katana looks pretty decent looking at it, but like this one with that big black smudge right here on the end of the pommel. Otherwise, this is pretty much similar to Shredder's sword, although it's a little bit more flexible. It's a little bit more flimsy. Cast all in one color, the silver, and then painted on with the black here. Same goes for the little Tonto blades. They're pretty much the same thing, just shortened and at a different angle on the cut there. But let me get this in. Oh boy, that is. There we go. Yeah, I suspect that these swords aren't coming out of this hand now unless I go and heat this up, because yeah, those things are. I mean, they're in there for sure. That's good, but the cool thing is you can get him crossing his blades like that. If you wanted to, I could probably get him. Come on. Uh-oh. We got a stiff shoulder here, folks. Let's see. There we go. That's a hard detent. I'm going to have to definitely heat this guy up because I don't want to break anything on these. Oof, man, this is going to be a tough cut to try and get standing up in a dynamic pose. Just because these ankles do not move whatsoever. They like. I'm wondering if they're supposed to. It looks like they're supposed to. Oh, well, there goes the foot. Probably shouldn't have pushed too hard on that. I mean, it's not broken. At least it just will pop back on. Here. Oh, you know what I'm missing in the background here? There's a little bit of music. Sorry guys, just need a little behind the camera strength to try and get this back in there, but it's gonna work without some heat. Well, maybe it did. Okay. Yeah, I don't. I'll definitely have to warm this guy up and see if maybe I could get these ankles to move a little bit more. But so far, I don't think that's going to work the way I want it to. And then just for argument's sake, let's just go ahead and see if we can get these. The swooshes seem to go on just fine. Not like falling off or anything. Not hard to get on or off. That's cool. That's nice. I have him facing off Shredder there in the background for now. Yeah, okay. Let's move on now. I think I want to move on to not Donnie. I'll move on to Mikey. So here we go. We got Mikey here. Little subjects, best action, best features, best worst articulation, best assortments. Langelo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the side, comic art, or comic inspired art, I should say, because I don't think this is directly from the comic books. Oh, you know what? Before we get into that, I forgot to grab out Leo's trading card. So before we get into Mikey, let's look at Leo's trading card. Pretty much the same as like Shredder's, although I feel like the turtle, Leo seems to pop out a little bit more from the background. It's not as faded, brighter colors and stuff. More art of, or another photo rather, of the figure. If you want to read the little description there, go ahead and pause it now. Okay. Get that out of here. And then we'll move on to Mikey. Again, no tape on this. So wasn't even taped in there this time. This just was a thing. Right. Nice. Love that for us. Best action. Right, let's see if we can do the same thing with Mikey that we do with Leo here. Let me get this off first. I wonder what the difference here is. Let's see. Pretty much everything except for this head sculpt came out, so. So, right out of the package, we've got Mikey. His grip hands on. He's got the, his head sculpt out of the package. He's yelling. I don't know why these guys are yelling in all of them, but he's got the, whited out pupils or whited out irises or whatever. No bandana strings here. His are much shorter. He comes with two that look exactly the same. Why? Just plug this in for him. He seems to stay much better, although I don't know why I needed to be on a ball or anything, because it's not like this is doing any dynamic posing. So same with this, it's really the same thing. Okay. So here we've got Mikey. Definitely much smaller than like Leo is. He's not as chunky. He's a little bit skinnier. You could definitely tell with like in the arms and legs. The torso is much like thinner and sleeker, I guess you could say. Almost the same color shell. Skin tone is obviously different. It's much more light skinned. Much brighter green. It's actually a little bit closer to my my logo's green. So it's going to be the new unofficial mascot of the channel. No, not likely, but for the most part, it's almost the same. He doesn't come with anything on him outside, out of the package. Let me just quickly look over his accessories. So he's got two pairs of nunchucks. He's got a pair of nunchucks with the wires, a little bit of a lighter tone on the actual nunchuck part. These are wires, not actual chains or whatever. These are kind of flexible. You can probably get them into different positions and stuff. As to whether or not they'll stay is another thing entirely. And you get another pair of nunchaku, but these have the kusarigamas on the end. These are like all black with like a orange stripe, and these have the leg chain in the middle. These are straightened out, so I don't know. I mean, obviously they're flexible, and you can get them into different stances. But for the most part, they look like they're supposed to be held straight. So maybe if you like hold them like this or whatever, both of them to do that. Like I said, the other bandana thing, and his other head sculpt is him smiling and winking. The iris, and the head with the pupil in the eye. As far as like the other hands go, he's got one where he's pointing. He's got like a splayed out, relaxed hands. He's got a fist. He's got another grip hand, and I'm assuming that this is also for the Ninja Stars, which he doesn't come with, but Raph does. Right. Let's get into the articulations. It's all going to pretty much be the same, but just to kind of go over it a little bit more. Not very much motion out of the head, and this time not very much down either, just because he's got a smaller head. Butterfly joints at the shoulders go back quite a bit, don't seem to go forward very much. He's got some bicep swivel issues here, a little gappy. Shoulder goes up about that much. It's not quite straight across for 90. Rotate all the way around. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. Go up well past 90 here, and if I could actually like. The thing with Mikey is he seems like he's a lot more flimsy than like Leo was. But get it all the way up, his arm all the way up, I should say. Again, no torso articulation, no waist articulation whatsoever. Hips go forward about that much, a little bit better than Leo. Go back about that much, about the same. Go out a lot, quite a bit. So he's going to be kicking some butt too. Double knees. Not going up all the way. He kind of, if he pulls it back some more, he can kick his own shell, not really his own butt. And then ankle. Let's see if this will go back some. Okay, it goes back a little bit. Goes forward just a little bit, and then has that front-facing pin for rocker. His wrist articulation. It's in and out, and I'm pretty sure it's the same where he's got these really small pegs, so these aren't going to be. This one doesn't seem as flimsy though. However, I don't know that you can actually even get these into any sort of other movements. And these things are stiff as all get out coming out of the package, so I'm not even going to bother with that. His belt's different than Leo's. He doesn't have any straps coming up around his shoulders or anything. It's just kind of holding up his shell, so to speak. And then he's got two big pouches in the back. He's got two smaller pouches in the front. I know that these are not going to fit in the pouches in the back just because of the Sarigama. So that's not gonna be very feasible. But you can get these in there, I believe, like so. Come on, Mikey. What did I just do? Uh-oh. Yeah, his belt just came loose in the back here while I was putting that in. Probably not the best idea for me to be just doing that without holding this up. So keep that in mind when you're trying to put your nunchaku into his belt in the back. And I doubt that that's going to be making much of an issue just because it kind of stays in place. I thought maybe it was like, I don't know if maybe it was glued in place before. But I distinctively kind of felt like it moved down quite a bit. All right. And then I'm not really sure what these front pouches are for because I mean it's not like he's going to be sitting there with these kind of chilling out of here. We don't even fit in there anyways. So I don't really know what the point of these are. Yeah. Okay. Just get these nunchuck Kusarigamas into his hand, and I mean, let's see. There goes Deku in the background there. Pausing a scene. I can get Mikey doing this, at least for now. Yeah, there's Mikey. Deku, I need you to stand up again, sir. Okay. Oh, all right. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I mean, so far, I like the look of these figures, but I'm not liking the playability. They're kind of stiff. There's not a whole lot to be desired in terms of like the ankle and wrist articulation. Like, if you're missing the articulation in the waist and the torso, the least you can do is try to make up with it in like the ankle department and the wrist department, so that you can at least kind of get some decent range of motion in there in the few poses that you can kind of get them in. But man, that's kind of upsetting. Let's before we get into Donnie, let me just go ahead and rip this open for Mikey. Come on. So there we got Mikey, orange background on there. Art on this really kind of pops. I do like those quite a bit. More toy art on the back here, and then you've got a description for Mikey if you want to pause and read that now. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into Donatello here now. This is my buddy's favorite turtle, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's Bankai Merc's favorite turtle is Donatello, just because I know he likes characters with staffs. Unless he might actually be a Leo fan. I'm not entirely certain, but we'll find out. I'll ask him the next time. So as you can see, we got Donatello, Royal Subjects, all that good stuff. Window on the top, art on the side, Ninja Turtles on the back, Donatello, best. Picture of the figure with all his accessories. Straight from the pages of the TMNT IDW with custom artwork from Mateus Santaluco. Okay, let's just go ahead and get into this then. Do I have any tape on here? No, no tape. Far this out. Everything came out. Sweet. All right. So out of the package, we've got Donnie. This is how he comes straight out of the package without any accessories added. Overall, not a bad looking figure. It's pretty much the same. It looks like he's maybe about the same build as Mikey. Pretty slender, skinny for the most part. Biggest difference, and I like that they did this, is his shell. He's got the metal shell. We talked about this a little bit in a previous episode of the Full Nerd Academia podcast as to why he has the shell. So if you want to know the reason why, go ahead and watch that episode. It's from a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, Donnie comes with like another angry sort of face with the pink pupils. You can get one of his bandana ties in here. That went in a lot easier than any of the other ones. That doesn't go down at all. Taking a look at it, or really quick before we get into a deeper dive with him. What he comes with in the package is obviously his signature bow staff. Looks like it's molded out of a brown plastic, a little bit of a wood grain texture to it, with the like bandages or like wrap texture around the middle there. Paint is a little off. Overall, I'm not complaining about that too much. Here, this is the equalizer. I love that he came with this. This is like one of the first, I think, TMNT comics that I ever read was from the like the Adventures of the TMNT, which was, I think, by Archie Comics. And in the comic, what happened was he was transported to another world where there was an artist who could create anything that he drew with something. He had like some magic stone attached to his pencil, and so they were like going into a battle or something, and so Donatello asked him to use it, and what he did was he drew up this, like the concept for this, and he called it the equalizer, and it's basically like a gauntlet that he uses. So this is really cool. I like this. We'll see if it fits on on his hand at all. Comes with a standard hands for the most part. He's got, this is kind of a grip / like pointing finger. I don't really know what's going on there. He's got the two splayed out hands. He's got a fist. Comes with his non-angry head, which is he's actually smiling. Got his pupils. He also comes with a pair of goggles. I like these quite a bit, so let's see. That actually goes right down over his eyes. I thought maybe I could have it just kind of up. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of have him up, just chilling off his eyes like that. But yeah, I mean, as far as when he comes or how he comes out of the package, I mean, he doesn't look bad. Like I said, all of these turtles look really good. I'm just really kind of upset with their articulation. I'm not very excited by it. But so here he is. He's got a strap going on, hanging off of the belt around to the back to where he's got the sheath or like holder or whatever for his staff. Which goes in there. It only goes in about that far. That's fine though. It's not like coming out or anything. His goggles stay on his head pretty well too. Cool. He's got various pouches and stuff on his. He's got a lot of pouches actually, all around his belt here. For good reason too. I mean, he is the tech head, so chances are he's probably got all types of different gadgets and stuff in his pouches. His pads are a little bit different than everybody else's. Everybody's like knee pads and elbow pads sort of completely cover their like knees and elbows, whereas his like they're exposed, so they're not really pads as much as they are probably wraps. The wrapping and stuff though, not too bad. Some paint misses or like over paints like here. There's paint missing, I think. On this here. Now hold on a second. Oh no, he doesn't. That's just the way that it's sculpted. I thought maybe he had shin articulation just because of how this was here, but that's just the way it's sculpted there. But overall, I mean, he looks good. I mean, just quickly going over the articulation is pretty much the same. He feels quite a bit stiffer than the other guys, though. So I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna risk this because I don't want to break anything without warming him up. So his shoulders are really stiff. Elbows go up all the way like that. Biceps swivel in and out. Hip. Kick up. Kick forward that much. Kick back that much. It's a little bit hindered because of the shell here. Kind of comes down quite a bit more in the back. Out. Oh shoot, he might be the best one. Yeah, goes out quite a bit. Thigh cut. Double knee. You can actually pick like the bottom of his shell quite a bit, but again, I think it extends down quite a bit. Wrist articulation, I feel like his actually kind of goes in and out. Then again, I just pushed it in and now it doesn't seem to be going out any, so there's that. And then the ankle articulation, it's not going anywhere. Get some rocker action in there. Since I've got his staff back here, I'm going to see if I can get his equalizer on the wrist or on his arm, which I can. It's a little loose on there. It's kind of wobbly. Not coming off, I don't think, but it's not really staying in there necessarily. But if I put that fist on, it might stay in there a little bit easier though. So let's. Jeez Louise. Come on, Deku. Making a scene here, my guy. Deku so desperately wants to be in the spotlight here. See see if this stays on any better. Oh no, that's even looser. Oh boy. That comes right off with the fist. So I'm assuming maybe the straight out hand or like one of these grip hands is probably the best for it, just because they have a little bit less room to move around, I guess. But all right. Donnie and he's gonna box somebody here in pose. I'm not gonna stress that. There he is. All right. And that was Donnie. Let's go ahead and get his card out here. Quick look. So there's his card art. Purple background. There's the figure. There's a little description of Donnie if you wanted to pause and read that now. All right. Well, we saved the best for last, ladies and gentlemen. My favorite turtle, Raphael. And I pray that this dude is a little bit more fun than any of these guys, just because he is my favorite turtle. So we shall see. Here it is again. We've got Raph, same packaging. Got Raph on the side here, Raph on the side there. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the back. Raphael, best. Straight from the pages of the TMNT IDW comics with custom artwork from Mateus Santaluco, figure, all his accessories. Card flew out. It's not taped to the back. That's slated. All right. Interesting. So Raph, I mean, he definitely is the biggest of the four. There's some issues I'm seeing here already. So right off the bat, just standing there like this, I'm sure you can kind of tell this front shell is moved over quite a bit here. I'm hoping that there's a way for me to fix that. Maybe if I warm it up and just kind of move it back and shift it back into place, maybe it'll stay. But yeah, already right off the bat, that's not a good look there. This is the second piece. So we got right out of the package. Same like grimacing face. Blank pupils. No bandana ties. His belt feels a little loose. It's moved down quite a bit on here. Just scoops that up a bit. There we go. Now this like bandolier is completely loose on here. This doesn't stick into anything. It comes right off. This is actually the holster for the Ninja Stars that he comes with. With this thing being so loose, I'm curious to see just how well those Ninja Stars are going to stay in these holsters. Dude, yeesh, that is super loose, dude. Like, I mean, it basically will fall off of him if I have his arms up. On the belt itself, it comes with the 2 holsters for his sai, a couple of pouches here. But I mean, and it's Raph. He doesn't need much more than his hands and his sai. Comes with his 2 sai out of the package. Silver, plastic, red paint on the grips. It also comes with 2 tonfa. These look like they're, molded out of brown plastic, and then has the like wood texture on them. They got handles. It's pretty cool. So you could also put these in his in the holsters. So I mean, if you were to have him holding his sai, have these in the back, and then have these on the bandolier, the ninja stars. These all look the same, so we just silver plastic with like the hole in the middle there. He can hold all of his weapons pretty much. Comes with 2 bandana ties, which are exactly the same. Let's go ahead. You know what? I lied. You know what? I know why they're different. One is supposed to be blowing to the left, the other one's blowing to the right. Now I understand. These things are not the best because they still have like a little bit of plastic garbage on that, like from the mold, like they just peeled them out, He also comes with like a relaxed, splayed out hand. This is more of a grip hand, I'm assuming, possibly for the ninja stars. Yeah. And then these 2 grip hands. I don't know if these are supposed to be for the sai or for the tonfa. My guess is it might be the sai, just because. Yeah. This is so that he can hold the sai like this. Or like this. Come on, dude. I don't really know how that's supposed to go. I mean, this looks like that's the way it's supposed to be, but when he grabs these, he's actually supposed to grab them around here. So they may have kind of screwed that up a bit. I don't entirely know. Then the other accessory he comes with is his head. Just a stoic look with the pupils, and then he's got a nice little touch of red paint there right on his nose. Lovely. Okay. So the side can go in the back pocket here. And they're standing there pretty well. I love the tonfa. Tonfa are the same. Especially because they taper. Should stay in there pretty well with friction, so stay in there pretty decently. The only other thing I'm worried about then is this here, because I don't think that these are going to stay in there like that. Let's see. in there like that. I'm not even gonna bother with the last, but look, this is how they fit in there. They're not gonna stay. There's no way that they stay in here. What? How, dude? How are these staying in there? Huh. They don't even feel like they fit in there all the way, much less that they're gonna stay in there. Like, come on, that's wild. Okay, I stand corrected. Get this third one in here, then. Wow, I am seriously shocked. I did not think that those were going to stay in there, just because, like, I mean, if I touch them, I feel like they're going to come out. So, but you know, stranger things have happened. I mean, should I really bother going over the articulation with this guy? I mean, they're pretty much the same. So, you can look up about that much, look down quite a bit more. The butterfly shoulders he has feel a little stiff, but they do go in and out. Ninja stars on the shuriken. Rotates all the way around like that. Bicep swivel. Double elbow. Comes up all the way past 90. No torso or hip or waist articulation, but he's got the hip articulation that goes forward about that much, back about that much. He's a bigger turtle, so he's not going to be getting that much of a range of motion. He goes out. Yeah, not as good as his brothers, obviously, but still out pretty well. Thigh cut. Breaks up the sculpt quite a bit. Double knees. He's a thicker boy. He's not getting up that much. He's not getting that far back. He's not even touching his shell. So, an ankle articulation. No forward, no back really, but got the rocker. Supposed to be an in and out hinge on his wrist. Get it in. Oh, there we go. I can actually get it to go out too. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I'll just get him holding his sai. So if anybody's going to pick these guys up, a word of warning: when you do open and before you start playing with them, either give them a nice hot warm bath so that they loosen up a little bit, or grab out a heat gun and blast them with some heat so that you can get them moving a little bit better. Because for the most part, these guys are a little bit stiff. Oh, here goes the shuriken, and it went to the carpet monster. Hopefully, I find that. Let's see. There's another one. That's what I was worried about. Just like I'm going to be hitting this thing, and it's just going to be falling right out. So. Right now that I can think of other than like this. I do want to get the size in the hand so that he's like holding them like that, so that these are sort of like the knuckle part. But for right now, this is what we're gonna do. And before we move on from there, let's just get this card out. Take this somehow. because that was a lot more difficult than it needed to be. All right. So we got Raph art in front. Looks pretty good. On back, we've got the figure. There's Raph's description if you want to pause and read that now. Okay. Okay. So, now that I've thoroughly knocked a bunch of stuff over, all right, those guys are just going to stay there for now. We'll fix them later. So we've got all the brothers here together. We've got Shredder. And then a little something I started customizing that I definitely still need to tweak a little bit. Not entirely the way that I want it to look, but I'm sure that at some point they're going to come out with the IDW April. Whether or not I get it is another thing entirely, just because so far I'm kind of leery on this set. They have some Casey Joneses out, but those aren't IDW. I think they're just like normal comic or other like Mirage comic types. But I customized this April O'Neil. I got the idea from somebody in one of the Discord groups I'm in for Dave Wonder. Dave Wonder actually gave the idea to another person, and then they submitted photos of what they look like. So basically, this is an America Chavez from the Marvel Legends DC, or not DC Multiverse, the Marvel Legends Multiverse of Madness line. So it's America Chavez from there, and then has painted up her jacket. Obviously, I have some work to do still on these sleeves. They did not come out very well. The jacket part itself actually came out pretty decent. Tried to match the skin tone a bit to this head. This head I got from Black Widow. The newer Black Widow, she came with 3 different heads, and I wanted one with a little bit of longer hair, so I used the longer hair for April. However, the way I've seen it done, and probably will do myself if I ever do end up finding the figure, is you use the G.I. Joe Classified, one of the Scarlets. I want to say that the one that they used was from the first release Scarlet. I might try to find like a movie Scarlet, because that might be a little bit cheaper, just because those were like peg warmers for so long. And that might match up a little bit better, but for the most part, this is my April O'Neil that will go with these guys, at least for now. Yeah, guys, what do you think? Let's get back over to the other camera. All right. So, what are we thinking so far about the best action? The Loyal Subjects Best Action TMNT, IDW TMNT. Do you think they're good? Do you think they're worth it? If I remember correctly, these guys were 22 a piece. I'll have to look and see how much they were. I got them a while ago. It's been a while since I've had them, and I've been waiting to get them all together and to get that custom done of April so that I can have them all together at once. Now, having opened them, you know, I'm still not sold on the Loyal Subjects Best Action lines. They definitely look good. Their articulation leaves a lot to be desired, especially when NECA is putting out turtles who like have much better articulation and look really good and look like they came right out of the comic books. The only thing I have with NECA is that they are just a little bit too expensive. You know, $35 per figure is a steep price. I mean, these guys were a lot cheaper. Also, too, with some of the NECA stuff, they're hard to find unless you order them directly from the site. If you get the chance to, order them directly from the site, finding them in person, sometimes they're a little bit hard. Finding them online on Target is a little bit hard as well. So, but some of the NECA figures I do have, like I have the TMNT, like the cartoon version of Usagi Yojimbo. That guy looks great. It's so awesome. I love it so much. I also have the NECA Mirage Comics Casey Jones. The Mirage Comics Casey Jones? Yes, it's the Mirage Comics Casey Jones. Love that figure to death. He looks great. He moves pretty awesome, and like the accessories he came with are just awesome. And if you know me, aside from Raph, my favorite TMNT character is Casey Jones. So like I love that Casey Jones. I would love to see an IDW version of Casey Jones come out, maybe to go with these turtles. Overall, though, I'm going to have to do some stuff to kind of fix these guys up, just to get them to work in the way that I kind of want them to, or at least to get them into some poses that are a little bit more dynamic and not as static or like straight up and down as these guys are. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. On the stream, on the channel. Overall, though, guys, I like to think that I had fun today. At least looking at these guys, I'm gonna have some fun customizing and doing stuff with them that just to get them up to par. But otherwise, cowabunga. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you for joining me. If you joined me live, if you're catching me on the replay, thank you for watching again. Check me out again next Monday. We'll have something else to open up and talk about, or might just have some toy news to go over next Monday for the Monday Morning Toy Show. Otherwise, catch me and Bankai Merc this weekend, possibly Saturday or Sunday for the Full Nerd Academia podcast. Otherwise, guys, thanks and take it easy. Let's hit that outro.
This is the way. This is the way. Do it.
I suck at this.